Okay, we are live.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Antoinette. I'm chair of the Joshua Johnson Council, one of the oldest African American friends group in the nation, formed in 1984 with the intent or sole mission to increase membership or actually increase participation by African Americans in the museum. Since then, we've expanded what we do by engaging artists in the community, influencing some of the programs as well as some of the exhibitions that happen in the museum. This evening, we meet on this, I should say, we meet on the second Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock. And we also bring in local artists to have a conversation, or i.e., JJC Talks, to engage and understand more about their practice, share their work. And so, with that, I should say also, we are a membership organization, the Baltimore Museum of Art membership, and Joshua Johnson Council is a sub membership of that. So you have to be a member of the BMA in order to join the Joshua Johnson Council. So we're open and welcome to everyone to join the organization. So now with that, you know who we are, you know what we do. I'm going to turn it over to Dave Issa, our BMA person, to introduce the artist of the evening. Dave.
Thank you, Antoinette. Folks, my name is Dave Issa. I'm the manager of community engagement here at the BMA. Like Antoinette said, we are a member-driven organization that works within the museum. You can support our work at artbma.org. You can learn more about us, but most importantly, you could join to use your skill set and your love of this city and artists working in the city to help us do what we do. Um, Tonight, I have the privilege of introducing Christopher Johnson, kolpeace, a really incredible artist. His bio is on the Facebook event, so I'm not going to go over the extremely extensive one word by word. But I want to start off with one of the best things about how he introduces his work to the world is Christopher Johnson, also known as kolpeace, is a Southern man where the tea is sweet and the people are sweeter. He is currently pursuing his MFA at Community Arts at MICA. He's set to graduate this May. He received his bachelor's degree in graphic design in May 2017 from Charleston Southern University. He's an artist in residence at Greenmount West Community Center. He's really inspiring as a person that is not only invested in his own studio and his own work, and also pushing that and highlighting that in a really new, energetic way. I think maybe we'll learn tonight that kolpeace is not just making paintings. There is a very interesting methodology in how kolpeace makes paintings. Um, he is a really incredible individual, and we are really lucky to have him here in Baltimore. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to my friend Chris.
All right, man, Dave. Thank you. Thank you to JJC for having me. Also, man, this is awesome, man, to see all these beautiful folks. And just thank y'all so much. So I'm gonna read a little bit, what I'm saying, that I wrote. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so we're gonna go with what I know. Okay, this is what I know. I'm a community artist, but I love the people more than anything. And I definitely want to introduce you guys to my actual artwork before I even get started diving into it. This is what I do. That video there was shot in Charleston, South Carolina. That's one of my second homes. My first home is Columbia, South Carolina, down south, where everything happened. It's such a beautiful place, man. I just love it so much. And one thing in South Carolina that we learned is the value of things and the value of the people. I'm a community artist, not even by choice. I think that just being born in that situation, in that area, created this whole dynamic of what this work is. My work is called kolpeace. It stands for Kids Outlaw Peace. And that basically means that from youth to elders, you can create and do anything. You can be anywhere and do what you want. You don't need anybody's advice or permission to do whatever you want. You can have your own incredible time, right? And so I created these different pieces from just stories and ideas from values from home. I got it from my grandmother, okay, who is a Black lady, a woman, a lady, so great, and so she has all these religious things to tell me. She tell me these stories, but I take those and then I transform them into these bodies of work. And I tap into music, I tap into all these different elements to be able to create these different things, right? So when I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna tell you just this one thing that I do want to express, right? When you first when you get an idea and you want to grab that idea and you want to figure out what you want to do, you start to think about all the things that you wouldn't be able to accomplish at the end of that idea, and you block yourself. Okay, and what I wanted to do is to be able to highlight that self-determination of passion of wanting to create, right, and just to do what you want to do whenever you want to do it. So what I'm going to do is just share a couple of pieces and then just talk about those pieces that I do have. And you know what? Zoom is weird, okay? I got to do all of this extra stuff, and we just going to work with it. Just rock with me and be okay with it.
It's all good. You're good.
All right, that's all I need to hear. So this is my website, man. This is my little website. It's all of that. But one thing I did want to highlight is my work started in Charleston. Started back home with hearing the stories from my grandmother, my mother, everybody. But it started back in Columbia, South Carolina, and then I transferred it over to Charleston. And what happened was when I went to Charleston Southern, I really wanted the opportunity to be able to paint and do all these different things, but there was no space for it. There was nowhere to be able to create these bodies of work, these pieces of work. And I didn't know this before coming to Baltimore. I didn't know any of these things. And so I challenged myself. I had to learn, first of all, from women. Women taught, like Black women have been a mentor for my work for a very long time. From my grandmother to my mother to my cousins to my aunts to everybody, to all of those people who have influenced me to do these things. So I would never be one to say to protect Black women, but I will fight for them. I will beat you up physically. I will say that I will fight for because the reason why I say this is because it's a creation. A woman can go through so much. A Black woman go through so much during the day, right? And still at the end of it, give you great advice. Be able to stand by you and say, you can do it. You can keep going. And she doesn't even have to know you, right? But if a man, I'm not bashing, but if a Black man, if they go through it, it would be angry. They'd be like, just be like, I can't get over it. I'd be so down. But that's what always been encouraging for me. And I've been seeing this since I've been a kid. I've been seeing it from a kid on. And that's why I listen. I'm good to be in that circle and that energy. I can sit in there as a child. I can sit in there all day and just sit and listen because I can hear laughter. I can hear love. I learn love. I learn what laughter is. I learn these things in these situations. And so I created these bodies of work to be able not only to express my stories, but express warriors who have not only gone through things, but also been wanting to tell this story, to tell these things that happen. And one exhibit I do want to highlight is Resilient. And Resilient was an exhibition that was done in Charleston, South Carolina. One place that was exhibited at the the Avery Museum in Charleston, South Carolina, and the Saul Alexander Gallery in Charleston, South Carolina. And so I created these bodies of work. So I created these different pieces of different advocates and people who have gone through different things. And so I used their faces and what they had to, what I wanted to say for each one. So this is Muhyiddin Dabaha, all right? And Muhyiddin was a native, in Charleston, South Carolina. But what was crazy was if you ever knew how, I don't know if you guys ever seen the video of the man who grabbed the Confederate flag. He jumped over at College Charleston, but he grabbed the Confederate flag, he took it down, he tore it down, because he said he was instilled by one of his elders that he heard that she was, she was looking sad. And so I wanted to create him in this warrior-like this look. And I created this, and when I started creating it, I started to see how, okay, what can I do next? What can I create next? And so I created these different pieces. I created one of Centoya Brown. And Centoya, her story overall, it pushed me to be able to create this piece in this Black warrior geisha look. It looked like she was going through it, but in this beautiful look of using Black and using that beautiful color of Black. And the reason why I even take that one solid color to use it is because I think that's a very crisp and beautiful color. I use it in all of my paintings. I don't go with any piece of body work. I don't stop using it. I use it in every painting. And the reason for that is because, like I said, I think it's beautiful, but also it's a stern, it's a strong, it's a strength in it every time I see it. It's very overwhelming, very, very overwhelming. And I did create a piece of Robert Smalls. And Robert Smalls, if you don't know the story of Robert Smalls was in Charleston, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? He was a legendary man, okay? He escaped, you know what I'm saying, being under the, he was the U.S. representative, but he escaped doing different things by taking the captain's coat. He got on the ship and he, you know what I'm saying, he rode out to different places. But he was able to do these things to show not only his dynamic, but his warriorship, to have that type of bravery. And so when I create these paintings, I try to be able to show the bravery in each piece of body of work. Another one was Reverend Siegelton, and I created her from a very tough time that happened in Charleston history. In history itself, it's the Charleston 9 massacre that happened, and that was a very strong, very hard point. And so when I created these pieces, I didn't do it on my own. You know what I mean? I had advice, I had help. I had help from people in my community, people who wanted to be able to show me, tell me about different stories. And the person that helped me curate this was Jara Perkins. She gave me like different ideas. Like she told me about some of the history, but also I had to figure out for myself. And that's one thing that I do and I'm grateful for, to be able to figure out information for myself. I love learning new things, but to create these pieces and not know anything about them, you know what I'm saying? Not know the full extent at first, but then learning about them is a very big thing for me. So as I created these different pieces, right, I got Kara Walker and Kara Walker, excuse me. And you know that she's a phenomenal artist, but she create these Jim Crow type silhouettes to be able to instill a message in different ways. And so this is just a shot of the Avery, African American Avery Research Center, where these different paintings are held. And the resilient old body work of resilience to show the warrior side of these different warriors that I created out of just stories that I've heard or stories that I just learned about in each of my pieces. And let me know if y'all have any questions as I go on. I like to, you know, I feel like when I talk too much, I don't want to be. So this is a body of work. One thing I did want to mention too. So as my own self, as this person, you can't separate the artist as far as I don't separate kolpeace and Christopher. I don't separate them both. I used to didn't know how to have both. And so I had to learn to do a lot of soul searching and self-searching to be able to figure out different things. Being a Black man, being able to create these different paintings, right? I couldn't, when I was creating my live paintings, first of all, that's two different aspects of my work. My live paintings weren't originally accepted, right? It wasn't originally been like, oh, you can come in this space and create the painting, you can do that at first. And so I was in the streets everywhere, just going in different spots, in Charleston, in Charlotte, in Atlanta, in these different places, creating these paintings because I just wanted to be able to paint for my people, paint with my people, and have a good time creating these paintings. But I wanted to be able to tell these stories, and I wasn't given that chance or the space to do it. But when I originally came to Baltimore, I wanted to be able to find that soul searching time to be able to be inside of my community and get the real deal. And then one thing I'm very proud about is the series here. The series wouldn't have came about if I wasn't here, if I wasn't in this modem. This one is called Birds and the Bees, and this was exhibited at the UB Blake Center. Shout out to the artist collective, Hot Sauce, man. It was a very great opportunity to collaborate with a bunch of different artists, you know what I'm saying, but be able to show work with all these great artists. And I wanted to express a narrative that I was talking about is coming into like your coming into the woman you want to be or coming into the man you want to be. And so I created these different pieces, the body of work, to show how that would look, how that would be. And you can see even in this piece that there are three different people, but each person, you know what I'm saying, each woman has a sight, an unseen way of how they would do things. But you see that these two faces are learning from the child that's here. So you got the woman to the left and the woman to the right are learning from the small child here. And these people that I'm personally connected to, you know what I mean? These are things I'm personally connected to. And you can just see that these are different people who are actually viewing the work. And this is the part where I'll talk about the male diaspora, where a Black man would be able to figure out what type of man they want to be able to where they want to learn at, what they want to do. And so as doing all of these things and creating these paintings, right, I thought that at one point, what would that equal up to? What would that be? And that comes into being here, like being here in the space, going to different spaces and create these works. And so one thing that I did do, and I did understand that I had to be able to not only challenge myself, but be able to find the best value in myself. And I found that here, being an artist in residence here at Green Mountain West Community Center. And I think it's one thing here that not only being in the space, but also being able to converse with the community, with the people. Like there's one part you can say, okay, I can help, so I want to help kids, I want to help these people, I want to do that, I want to do this, but there's a lot of faith in everything. I need to check this chat. There's so many questions here. Okay, let me check the chat.
No, we'll get the questions for you. I can actually read them to you. If you are ready to address questions, we can go down through it, or you can keep on telling your story. We're interested in hearing about you, and we'll answer the questions if you're ready for questions. You want to go through the questions, or you want to keep sharing your heart?
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up. I ain't gonna be too long for you. I ain't gonna be too long.
Take your time.
Take your time.
All right, cool. But honestly, being in this space has not only taught me the value of valuing your work. There's something about being around artists and being around a bunch of creative people where you forget to be human. It sometimes happens, so you get caught up in the creative side that you forget to be human. And the thing about it is being around an artist, I don't want to feel like I'm in a competition with a bunch of people in a circle. I want to be loved by all of God's people, all people who's around me, right? And I want to be able to bring them in with my southernness, because you got to respect it. What you gonna do? You can't disrespect it. You could say what you want about me. You can say all these things, but I ain't care. That's the southern thing. I ain't care. The reason why I say I ain't care is because my mother is trill. My mother is awesome, but she's a trill woman. My grandmother is awesome. She's a soulful woman. She's a holy woman, but they both are very powerful women. And let me tell you something. Anybody say anything, anybody do these things about something that you've created, if anybody has something to say about it, do this for me. Sure, you should wipe it off. You can't do nothing but keep going. Don't let words take away from me. And I never done that. Like I've always been grateful for things. I've always been grateful for these different things, these different opportunities and stuff like that. But I do want to just touch on the fact of being able to go into spaces and not be stereotyped or criticized because of what I look like, because I am a male, because I'm Black, because because I say I look like this, I talk like that, I do that. But I know something about the people. I know something. All right, something that you may not know, and you'll be missing that because I'm not in your space. You're not taking in my creativity. You're not taking in my art. You're not taking in not just my own, but other artists who are trying to be able to create these bodies of work and express themselves in the way they know. When I paint, I can. So the pieces. I'll do it like this. These pieces, I'm gonna show them as I talk to you. I think that'd be better. These pieces that are created. So these different pieces that's created, these pieces that are created this is a mural, by the way. This is the mural I'm sitting behind right now. Okay, this is at the Green Mountain West Community Center. And it says, I can do all things. But I'm gonna explain that in a minute. Give me 1 second. Let me just go to a piece that I really want to just shout out real quick before I get into that. So this is Mama Tony right here. All right. Listen, I can't, I'm pretty sure people know, what I'm saying? Some people don't, some people do, but I wanted to create a warrior Mama Tony. I want to create it in my own light, right? And I see how people are influenced by her work and by her books. And she said one thing where she said that white women are called ladies, and Black women are called Black women. You know what I'm saying? And that was just a quote. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to see why that is. Like I've always been interested in why things are that they are, right? And so when I was creating this piece I created this piece to Lil Boozy, Wipe Me Down. I created this piece to all type of trap music in the hot Atlanta, where it's about 80 something degrees out there. Knees sweating, everything. I was sweating everything, but I had a good time doing it. I had an awesome time doing it. And when I created this piece, I didn't worry about how hot it was. I didn't care about how thirsty I was. I didn't care about who was looking. I didn't care about where I was. I just cared about the art that I was creating. I had a good time. I was happy where I was at, and I had to embody the spirit of who this woman was and who this woman is. She still is, and there's no disappearance of her body of work. There will never be a disappearance because she's here to stay. I created these warriors from just out of pure faith. These pieces themselves are performance art type pieces, and these pieces take I want to say 5 to 7, maybe 7 to 6 minutes, maybe 5 to 7 minutes at most. So imagine a song playing, imagine hearing the song playing, and then by the end of that song, these pieces are created using fire, spray paint, anything, a sword, all of these different things, these different pieces to create these bodies of work. And another piece I did want to express is one of John Lewis. I mean, I wanted to create these pieces, honorable brother John Lewis, and I want to create these pieces to show that these warrior pieces are something that I wanted to embody these men and these women.
I recognized him immediately.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. And so I also created pictures of Dr. King as well. And I did like these, like you don't understand the whole idea of this. So these pieces came from, I'm gonna share this with you if that's okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you about when I was a kid, my grandmother, she would always sing and everything. She would sing these songs, she would do all these things. And even my mother would sing, but my mother would sing to me on the way to school. My grandmother would sing to me while I was at her house. I would hear these music. I'm not a singer. I can lip sing, but I'm not a singer. But I would hear these songs and I'll be so happy in their presence. And what happened was that these pieces would come to life. I didn't know these pieces existed when I was a kid, but they were there. I just didn't know it yet. And so as these pieces being made, right, I would think about the times where I would be with my mother, I would be with my grandmother, and I would hear it. And I would be at the foot of my grandmother's bed, sleep, and my grandmother would sing while I was sleeping. And this was embodying my spirit. This happened. It could be gospel, it could be whatever. It could be any music. But the thing about my work is it triggers a memory in each individual person, in the community, whoever you are. It triggers your mind. It makes you think about a memory that you had before. And so that's the overall fun. I enjoy this part about my work because it happens. And people will come up to me and say these things to me, but it'll trigger a memory. I'm gonna share this one in a minute. Don't worry, I'm coming back. And so I just wanted to go to this mural real quick just to understand that this is what I'm actually sitting behind if you guys can't see it here. So I'm sitting behind this mural, and this mural also, again, is located at the Greenmount West Community Center. And what I wanted to express about it is this mural is called I Know I Can. But in the picture, you said I can do all things. Some people may know how to finish that. Some people may not know. But it's determined by you. It's determined by the viewer. In this piece, you will recognize that there are 3 figures here, 3 people here, three bodies of 3 people's of work here. To the right, you have the young girl. Now, there's stereotypical things, not stereotypical things, but like ways of saying that a girl can't do this, a girl can't do that, a girl should do this, a girl can't do that. That's not true. That's not true. There's women that's able to do things I would never know how to do. Prime example, I saw a youth throwing a football, and so I captured that picture and I said, hey man, I would love to put this in a painting one time. And so it happens that this mural was that piece. She's supposed to be able to show that she's focused. She's focused, she's ready to just take action and be able to create this moment, this triumph moment that doesn't exist in your mind, but exists in her mind. She could throw that football 50 yards, but you only think she could throw it 5. But you don't know that she could throw this ball farther than you, right? And so now you're looking at it, and then I take you to the left side, and you see this young fella who's maybe a little bit shorter than everybody. He may not be as tall as everybody. He may not be as strong as everybody. But I bet you he can blow that trumpet. I bet you he can play the music just like he can play the music louder than you. He can do these things. And it's all about encouragement and engagement with our young brothers. We got to look at them and say, man, you can do this. You know you can do this, man. I'll tell my youth, I said, man, you're a beautiful brother today. You look like you're happy. You got to be able to tell our youth that, to encourage them, inspire them, say that you can do this, you can do that. Because if they don't hear that all the time, how do they know to believe that? How can you sit here and say that you want to bring something in, you want to give them this, that, and the other, but you're taking from them by just forcing stuff down them, saying that this is a good idea, this is good. You don't know because you didn't ask. So why not ask them, see what they're interested in, learn what they're interested about, and then find out, like talk to them. They're human beings. They're humans too. Talk to our kids. Let them hear it. No matter where they're from, at the end of the day, they're all kids. They're all kids. No matter how grown they might try to sound, nah, take that lightly, but they're all the kids, right? And so at the top, I put my director here, Ms. Keisha Webster. I put her in there. Why? Because Ms. Keisha has time and time again had visions, that's unseen visions that people have not been able to see. Okay, she's been made a believer out of me, myself, of other people. People hadn't been able to see her vision. There's no eyelids, there's nothing here. And she's looking towards the center. She's looking towards everything here. She's looking towards things to be able to show how she can see things that other people can't see. She has an unseen vision, right? But there's a strength that she carries. She carries so much. She's carrying, just like all of us are carrying baggage and loads of things of responsibility that we have to do. These paintings, these things, they're telling stories. These are all trap, trill, soul, tall tales. These are all what these are. But these are very biblical paintings. They have holiness to them. And so she's carrying this drum here. There's a drum behind her that she's carrying that has so much weight to it, right? But she's not falling. She's not slumping over. She's standing up straight. She's looking. Her head is up. Her head is up. She can see straight because she's focused. She knows what she has to do, right? These kids are her left and right arms. They're holding her. They're holding her up, but she's holding them up. So there's a whole symbolic reasoning behind these different pieces. What I want to do is also take the time to be able to say that I will want to bring my murals not only to Baltimore, but also back home, also to South Carolina. I want to be able to bring these murals back home and to Baltimore to be able to tell these stories of our Black and brown children. But let me know how I'm looking on time, man. I just want to make sure I'm good on time.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
I wanted to make sure. But in all the times that I have creative work, I do appreciate the value in learning from people. That's an encouraging part about this process of not only being an artist but also a community artist. And the thing about the program that I am in, I'm grateful for not only my mentors but also my colleagues. Man, they've taught me a lot. They've taught me different things, but I'm so proud of the fact that I can bring value from home, from my friends, from my family, from everybody. To create these bodies of work. I mean, I've been in settings, people I don't know, I have never known, but I'll be my whole natural Southern self because I want to be able to express that and show that. Yeah, so we can open the question if y'all want. I can go ahead and say where that's from. So I was, before I came to Baltimore and in Charleston, I built up a community base where it happened, where I went to different spaces. Because of the people in my neighborhood, I was able to paint in these different spaces. And I did live paintings in different places to the point where it got me on a television show. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Celebrity Undercover Boss. And that was one show where I got to be able to create my work. Now, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I didn't know I was on it, so I would never say that I didn't know, but I didn't know that I was on it. But I was in a space where I didn't know where I was at, and I got to create my paintings. And I was just happy to be able to do that. And it makes me very excited, very happy, and very expressive to be able to not only create my paintings, but also talk about my work. And I'm learning how to get to that point to be more comfortable believing that not only these paintings have a message, but they have the narrative that can be able to instill an ideal or an impressionistic gathering of the people to it, and to be able to touch somebody who's looking at it, to be able to say, this is what this is. Like I said, this I've only done 2 murals. That's the only murals I've done on my whole time painting. And so I wanted to be able to take the time to just express that I do want to paint more. I do want to be able to create more different larger pieces. But it's up to the people, up to the community, also up to myself to be able to say, yes, I'm gonna take a chance on something, but I don't need your permission to be able to say, I need to do it. I just need to go for it and be able to do it and to create this vision of my own self. I know that's really cloudy, but that's just how I see it. And I'm a rough rider when it comes to creating art, so supporting the artists, but being a start hard warrior for them. Like, I want not only artists, but also people in the community to be able to express themselves to the highest degree and have the best value of themselves and show the best value of themselves through my work and through their work and through the things that we're doing outside the community. So if y'all have any questions, I'm down to answer.
Yeah, so what we're gonna do now, Chris, there are some questions in the chat. We'll go through those. And then once we go through those, if there's still time remaining, you still have breath to speak and not worn out, then we'll have people raise their hands so that they can ask questions, those who are in our Zoom chat. So the first one, I think you've already answered, which was, do you have any murals in Baltimore? And so you talked about you want to do more of those. You do have the one you've mentioned. And then is there apparel?
Oh, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Just give me a minute. I'm definitely working on it. I just had so one great thing that did just happen is I made some prints of this mural itself. They're all gone. They were limited edition. They're all gone. Whoever wants one, we won't be making any more. But thanks to Green Mountain, I was able to create these pieces and also give them out to the community, but also give some back to the Green Mountain West Community Center. So I was happy to be able to create those things and then just have those different prints and stuff. But I will be making more and making some apparel soon. So.
I was going to say, somebody might have some inside scoop on something with you. That's a very targeted question. Okay, here's another one. As a student, who were your professional and academic influences?
As a student, I want to say professionally. I want to say professionally. I didn't have like I would say it was like music side. So if I listen to I love Luciano Pavarotti. I love Pavarotti, but I also like James Brown. And then I like different people. I like Mary J. Blige. I love hip hop. I love classical music. I love all genres of music. So that's really a big influence. But I love the gospel too. So my faith is a very big thing with my work. Academic influences as far as professors and things of that nature. Where can I get started? But my professors are really very strong about it. Back in Charleston, Professor Baldwin, Glover, Marcion, and Professor Spires, you don't know these people, but these are very influential people who always told me, you gotta do your classwork first. Then paint. But I'll be wanting to do the opposite all the time. We didn't have a big art program at CSU, so what was one thing a goal that I wanted to do is, that's why I went so hard for painting, because I wanted that. And so I would spend hours. I was trying to learn what painting should look like. And finally, I think my faith in my Father in heaven just was like, man, just have fun with it. Don't worry about all of that, the statistic stuff and what stuff should be. And think about it, Professor Baldwin was one of those people who showed me what the meaning of using these different pieces of materials and using what you have around you is very important. And also my professors now, my mentors now, Professor Paula Phillips and Ken Craftschick and Dominic, Sheila, I can go down the whole list, but the people, community arts teachers at Micah are very real. That's a real deal. I'm telling you, it ain't for everybody. It's not for me. I can tell you that now. But also I have mentors here at Green Mountain, Miss Keisha, and also the staff here at Kennedy and Keela. They are very, and Andre Taylor, man. They have been very gung ho for my work, and they listen. I tell you, this is a real deal. I mean, if you want to be a community, come here and learn something. So that's just what all I have.
Thank you for the shout outs. So there's another one. What influenced you to begin using fire in your artistic process, and how is that the painting doesn't totally burn up?
And that's the soul. That's the sauce, man. That's like me telling you the secret to the chicken. I can't tell you all of that. But no, man. My grandmother told me Bible stories about Rabshak, Meshach, and Abednego, how the three men they would bow down to the emperor, the king, and so they put them in the furnace. They couldn't be touched. You know what I'm saying? The angels covered them. And so to tell you the truth, and just to be honest with everybody, I can't feel it. It doesn't hurt me at all. And the reason why I say I'm not writing anything, but I'm grateful for God to be able to enjoy that element and to be able to respect it. You have to respect it. And one thing I don't do is I don't do it for show, and I don't do it upon request. I do not do that because I do not abuse that material at all. And what happens with that flame is it's a voice. It's a part of my voice. As low and monotone as it is, but it's a part of my voice, and it's a part of the people's voice, and it's for the people, it's with the people.
So you've got some accolades on absolutely amazing. Those are some of the comments. Black Warrior. There's another one. What place does your vision take you while you're creating?
Wow, that's crazy. I get in this. I want to say this. I won't say this meditative, but it's like this favor, this trance, this thing, this like this aura, this peace with me. And I don't feel like I'm all alone, but I know I'm in that position. I'm creating these paintings from memory and from also a sketch practice too. And I'm creating these things from. It's so weird. It's like it's really like it's like eating your favorite food. You've been hungry all day and you eating it and you put it in your, and I'll tell you, that's how I feel. I'm not saying like that, but that's how I feel. And it's such a great experience, man. I honestly got to say this. I think everybody should be able to experience to see not only myself through this type of painting, but others who will want to learn. I think it would be cool for them to get to see it and experience it, and it may unlock something. You just never know.
Very nice. So this Tracy Chan says using fire impressive. Myron says, are you in town?
Am I in town? What? See, you can't be. We on live. You can't be telling people. Yes, I am local here in
Okay, Herbert says very proud of you. Your technique is so unique. Does the dripping of the paint represent something specific?
Say that one more time.
Does the dripping of the paint represent something specific?
Yes. So at the same time, being in the church, raised in the church, but also being in the natural world, I haven't separated the two. And so what I don't do is I don't like judging people. Like I don't take somebody and say this is what they are automatically. I like to get to know people, and so I use those drips and those paints to be able to show the long mountains of sweat and the sacrifice that people make throughout their life, to be able to show the hardship and to show the overall stories of those people who, or the subject that I'm painting, at least that day. And it's just to express the overall, also the blood of Christ himself, but also to show my own blood, my own sweat, and my own tears that I have had to endure throughout my practice.
Nice. Tamika loves it. And another comment on the dripping sometimes looks like fireworks or rain or sweat and tears. Very translating. Does God translate to an underworld for you? A lost city, maybe?
A lost city? Wow, these are like those are smart.
That means they're all paying attention. That's what it means. Yeah, you really kind of get in.
I'm glad. But no, I want to say this, that it does take me to a place. I will be honest with that. And it takes it to a place of soul searching, self and personal feelings. But I know that I have to honestly take on a different weight. There's a word for that I was told, I'm trying to remember, but I'm taking on different weights that I've had to endure myself. So there have been times where I had to stand out in public when I've seen people. Like I've painted for, I'm not painted for, but painted with and painted different pieces for some of your favorite people. Questlove, I put a piece in Cardi B's room. I've done Anthony Hamilton. I've met Anthony Hamilton. I've done one for Jules, John Baptiste. I'm trying to think. Yellow Beezy. I know y'all don't know some of these people, but these different people who I have. And sometimes I would stand outside for hours and hours and hours waiting with the painting. I'll paint live painting for the community, and then I would stand outside for hours and hours and hours, no matter how hot or cold it is, because I feel like I know these people need to see this work, and I feel like that I really want to show it. Even Rhapsody and also Big Crit, I created these pieces about them and about this story because they're so influential. That I don't care how long I will have to wait. I know that my heart and what my message is needs to be seen.
I think you've answered this one, but does fire have a certain spiritual level for you?
Yeah, it not only for myself, but for my youth and the people around me. And so there's artists who want to say something, who want to do great things, but sometimes it just takes a little push. That flame and that piece is that little push. That's the extra mile that's pushing people to go. Anybody, if you don't know me, if you meet anybody that knows about me and has been around me, they'll know that I'm an old man. Like I have an old soul, it's real old, but at the same time, I got some pep in my step. And so what happens is I will honestly push them hard and show myself the same grace, but I would want them to go so hard and do what they want to do. But also go for the stars. I mean, I don't care what level of artist you may think you are, what level of artist you may be at, whatever you establish, whatever you feel it is, you are still human. and you still have something to learn. And that's what I feel like every time that I do use those flame materials, that I do those, because I'm just creating a bond, a friendship with these people. And so that was the best thing, at least, about it. I hope I answered that question.
So here's a really important one. How can we support your work?
Oh man, y'all doing it now. I'm with JJC right now, but tell you know what I'm saying. Just honestly, it's not always about the gallery. It's not always about the exhibition space. It's not always about and I don't mind y'all getting to work now, but it's not it's not always about selling a piece of art, man. It's not always about that. It's about the message and where I can put it at. And so you see all these different places in Baltimore, even in South Carolina, even whoever listening back home. And I know some people also are listening to all over the places. So, and it's about saying that, hey man, we want you to come out here. We want you to do this. I am not unprone to having ideas and hearing stuff out. I've met people who said, man, we always wanted you to do this. Why haven't you called or emailed me? I got a whole website. What's wrong with you? Reach out to me and talk to me, man. But the great thing about the work is it's accessible to the people. It's not hindrance. It's not hard to get to. Just talk about, ask about it. Reach out to me on my website, on Instagram, message me, say something. I'll say something back. I'm not bougie. I ain't listen. I almost wore a turtleneck today, but I want to wear I wanted y'all to know that I'm not bougie, but I wanted y'all to know that I really care about the people, man, and I'm going to hold hard for it. So if you want to see the work, if you want to come here and see the work, come here and see the work. I'll be here, but I just want people to know that this work is accessible. So the best way you can support me, once of all, telling people about my work, talk about it, talk about this experience, talk about other experiences, but talk about it. Also, sharing the work. There's nothing wrong with sharing that. I'll share your work, share the work. You know what I'm saying? I'll support whatever you're doing. I'll buy all of it. You know what I mean? I'll spend all my little money, but I would want to make sure that you know that I'm there for you, that I'm there because people did that for me. I'm not doing it because I was, that's a nice thing to do. No, I'm not, because investing in local businesses is very important for me. And especially Black-owned businesses is very important for me because that's where your ideas come from. That's where your partnerships come from. That's where everything comes from. When you invest in your community, that's so doggone important. That's very important for me. And it should be for other people. Investing in our youth. Our youth have so many great ideas and they just need that extra push to be able to get themselves started. If the youth want to create a YouTube channel, they want to do that, help them. Give them the insight, give them the camera, give them the battery for that camera, give them the plug, but help them get to where they want to be because they need that extra push. It's just a natural thing. I've had people hold my hand, give me the bottle, give me all of this. I don't mind that. And I needed that. And I know that they needed that too. And another way you can support me is tell people, y'all at the museum, be like, hey, come down here and do a painting for us. Put me in that position where I can be able to show this work to the people. Another goal is to be able to show these work in these spaces where this type of work is not always seen. The reason why it's unseen, the reason why it's unfamiliar, because it's a gift for the people. It's a gift with the people. It's a gift. And it's something that you, not only myself, but you have to also be a voice. You have to be one of my voices. Just like all of you guys are here and people who are on live. Be the voice. Say something to somebody. Say, hey, yo, get kolpeace in here. Let him put his work in here. Do whatever. And watch how much joy it will bring to you. But watch how human it is, and watch how it will touch your spirit. And I promise you, it will never be nothing you ever seen before. I promise you that.
I don't want to say preach after that. No. I don't want to be inappropriate, but I'm going to say preach, my brother. Preach.
This is the space. It doesn't. Be yourself. Everybody, I know y'all say something to me. Talk to me. It'll be good.
There's a lot of comments now. So the next one is similar. It said, what does the fire actually do to your painting? That's from Norma. She said, what does the fire actually do to your painting?
So like I said, it's the sauce to any meal. It's the hot sauce to any meal. It has that extra kick. That's what it does. That's what it does. I told you the story.
Yep.
I laid it down for you. I'm gonna tell you this. It allows me to continue to tell the story of the subject that I'm trying to paint. You can't just go into a restaurant and then look at the menu like, man, I don't know what I want to eat. Man, you see something that triggers you, that gets you, and you get it on your plate, and it's good. It's good. You're full. You're good. You go home. You lay down. You're out there. That's what it does. It creates an extra salt. It creates an extra journey for you. It gives an extra push for what the work is itself.
Okay. There are questions about your musical influences. What genre influences your work? And then it's followed by bold and bodacious brother, highly blessed.
I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all so sweet. what music that influenced me is, I want to say hip hop, gospel, hip hop, and I want to say classical music. I do like. I like all genres. I like rock and roll. I like country too. Country's cool. Uh, but I like alternative. I like all the genres of music. But I love trap. I love trill. I love soul music. I really do love. So I love jazz. I love these different types of genres of music. So all those musics, I can work to, and I can just sit and listen to. So it don't matter. Long as I got a good time. It's a good time for everybody.
Okay, you got people thinking out here, because this is another one. Will you be doing any virtual exhibitions coming up?
Listen, talk to the people. Be like, listen, I'm telling you. So one great thing that's happening now is I actually have an exhibition up at Jubilee Arts. Shout out to Jubilee. And also Alexa Olivia, she has helped me curate my work. So it's called Testify. I can share a few pictures really quick, just to show you guys what that kind of looks like. But you got to go see it for yourself. So right now, there's a couple of pieces out at Jubilee Arts. And so I'm gonna just show you this part because I'm gonna make you go see it for yourself. But this body of work is called Testify. And one thing I did want to express also is how we've been on this lockdown for so long that we have let it cripple us. But think about for a second, let's take the time to recognize that there are great things that have came out of this. Really, really think about it, because there are some times where we have been sitting in the space and something that we have never thought about before, but we only thought about when we actually was quiet. There was no sound, there was nothing. And we actually got the vision and it came out as clear as day. These, I kid you not, I thank the Lord for this. These paintings would not exist. These paintings would not exist if we did not be on that lockdown. And I say this, between the killings, the killings, the murders of Black men and Black women, the murders of Black men and Black women, and the overall protest, all right, the overall systematic, the diaspora of how they've been judging our children, how they've been talking about our men, how they've been talking about our women, how they've been talking about everybody, okay, how they've been looking at us at these different lights, how they've been doing that. These paintings would not have been existed, because these paintings are to show those page for page of how not only I have felt, but I know other people has felt. We have not had no peace in so long. We haven't had that chance and that opportunity to be able to say, oh, there is a moment where I've been able to sit and be still and say, I'm okay right now. Because you're not okay. You are tired. You have been stretched. You've been pushed past your limit, but you're still standing. There is nothing in this world that, I'm gonna say this for my people, my Black people, and I'm not excluding nobody, but I'm saying this right now. There's nothing in this world that we cannot do. If we come together, if we literally stand side by side and we all fall, guess what? Somebody's gonna be able to stand us up. We all are okay. We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be all right. As long as we stood together, there's nothing that we can't do. We respect each other. We do all of these things. These paintings wouldn't exist. If it wasn't for these things, these paintings wouldn't exist. So there's always good and darkness. Know that there's always good and darkness, and there's a way to bring out the light in these pieces. And so what I wanted to do is show this picture that I captured on the street corner, where just these, I don't know, none of these, she just came up. She said, these are nice paintings, brother. Oh my gosh, and I was so happy because I did not know it, but I was so happy to see her joy. But I'm glad that my work, the work that I thought that I was like, oh, I gotta paint something different. But I kept doing that when I didn't know that the work that I've already created needed to be seen by the people. I need to give my work a chance, an opportunity to be seen by the people. And so I did that with this gathering, this exhibition, and I called it Testify. And I wanted to be able to show that Testify, I'm gonna just read this real quick, the Testify. Testify is a series of work created when self and people felt condemned on the lockdown. It's thought about vanished opportunities, things. So you might have had so much stuff planned that's just disappeared out of nowhere. You got to postpone, do this, do all these things, but know that there's a reason for those things. It might be bigger and better years from now. You never know. And this is just a point where I wanted to celebrate those different stories of oneself, of things that you wanted to focus on. And so I use these different pieces to celebrate and to show the focuses of not only my people, but people all around, people of color, and also people who are going through something and who just need a little bit of joy, just a small part of joy. And if I can do that, and if I can do that to one person, man, I'm good. I'm fine with it. And that's just the real. That's the honest truth. That's the honest God truth that I can do. And what I do is I take these pieces and I talk about. I express these trill trap tales that I want to be able to do it in my own light, in my own style of painting. And one thing that I want to share too. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. One other thing I did want to share is when I was on a cell phone with my grandmother the other day, she said, you get a piece of Cicely Tyson, right? I said, yeah, grandma. She's like, I saw it on the Facebook. I said, okay. She said, why you paint her so ugly? I said, mama, I said, she's a beautiful woman. She said, why you paint her so ugly? I said, mama, I was like, you got to look at the beauty in everything. You got to find that beauty. She was like, okay, I guess so. My grandmother had this way about seeing paintings in a way, and I had to explain to her why my paintings is what it is. But it's like there was a point where I had a conversation with my grandmother that was real. I mean, it's always real, and that's like my best friend. But I had a real conversation about my own artwork. And when I use this monochromatic paint, this one type of color, I create these faces out of just that one color. Because I believe that this color is so pure and so beautiful, as it's been charted out from any other things where you see oil paintings and these different paintings with these browns and these blues and these pinks and these bright colors that's always shouted out. But when that black comes into it, it seems so dominant, it seems so strong. And that's what I wanted to express even with this exhibition itself too. I know that's an overboard question.
No, we're good. We do have a lot of comments we want to get to, and I know it's 7:29, but everything you're saying is so relevant and so apropos for where we are and what we've been experiencing. So I can only say, to join you in a spiritual conversation is at such a time as this. Yeah. You're saying what needs to be said at a time that you're supposed to say it and we're supposed to hear it. So for everyone under the sound of your voice, I'm sure they're getting something from it. And so I'm going to go to this other comment from Yvonne that says, although you're a trained artist, the spiritual that comes through your work reminds me of a pianist who plays music by ear. The church is there, inspiring. The next one says, you have some family watching. Jacqueline says her nephew is an artistic genius. Ken says the art of Bushido is present in your art style. Andrea says, so proud of you. How do you think museums can continue to authentically show up for Black Sky? Is that what this is? Black BLSKV?
Black creators.
Oh, oh, I see. Oh, that was the correction down the bottom. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to scroll through and see this. Okay, for sure, for Black creators. Did you catch that? How do you think museums can continue to authentically show up for Black creators?
I think so one thing I did do back in Charleston, I went to different spaces where they would not have had my work at. And I'm not going to say their names because I do not like going back and bashing people. I just want to express the turmoil that I had to go through, where I was looked at as my work would not be accepted. I've gotten the faces and I have gotten the ignored emails. I've sent hundreds and thousands of them trying to just say that I just want to show my paintings. In 200 and 500 words of how you wanted to do it, but I expressed it how I wanted to do that, and it did, those doors was not accessible. And one thing I did dress just like this, and I did have my voice, and I did have this kind of conversation, and I expressed my passion. And one thing I want to let every artist know, and people in general, is that everybody cannot hold your heart. Everybody cannot accept your heart because it is going to be big. It's going to be too big for them to hold sometimes. And you're going to have to be patient. And there is a slight patience that I did have to develop myself. And the way that museums can accept Black artists or Black and brown artists is to give them a shot, give them a chance, give them an opportunity. Say, yes, that's okay. Let them show you what they can do. Okay, let them express it, because I'm telling you, the museum that takes a chance and actually lets that happen will be the dominant. It will be that museum. They will be the top. I promise you. If they literally let the people in and give that a shot and say, yes, you can do that, you will be that museum. There's collectives all over Baltimore. There's people all over Baltimore. People that I haven't even met yet that I'm talking about right now. But I know that in the future, there's going to be a moment where y'all going to look back at this and be like, dang, he did say that. And I'm for real. I know, I'm telling you this, you're going to look back and say, dang, but I'm going to tell you this, if y'all just give them a shot, I'm not just talking about this museum. I'm talking about other spaces. if the galleries and if y'all give them a shot, because the reason why I say this is because y'all have the physical space, right? All right. And there's nothing, one thing that when I do want to say is one thing that one of my mentors did say, there's nothing cute about being a starving artist. I'm not doing that anymore. We're not doing that. We're done. That's over with. All right. There's nothing cute about that. Right. But there's something fine and beautiful about being an assured artist, of being assurance and saying, I know what I want to do, and I'm gonna go for it, and I'm gonna do it, right? And so I am that 1 in 1,000. I'm one of those people. I'm not gonna be afraid to tell you that this is what I want to do. And if you're gonna say, okay, well maybe we can do it this time of the year, maybe we can do it that time. No, I'm gonna keep it moving because you're not ready for my heart. You're not ready for it yet. I get it. I get that you're afraid. I get that you're scared. I get that you got to go through this person, that person. You know, you got to go through the head of the snake. You got to go through that. And that's fine. That's cute. I got a snake myself. I ain't scared to get bit. I'm going to tell you this right now. I am not afraid to show my work and to show up there and to be there for the people, but also inside the spaces. These spaces, these locations, these artists in Baltimore, these artists in South Carolina, these artists all over Atlanta, all of these different places, they have a voice and they have something they want to say. But it's up to the museums, these spaces, the galleries, these exhibitions, to be able to take the chance to be able to teach. If somebody messes, it's okay to make a mistake. If somebody comes in and they want to exhibit work and they make a mistake, then be like, okay, I think you should do this. Help them. Say that you could do this better. Give them a chance to teach them the knowledge and the tools, because even with me doing my master's, even with going for the MFA, right? I didn't learn some of these things. I didn't learn how to say these things. And to be honest with you, only because I've been wanting to say this all my life. But the thing about it was all in here, and it was all, it was quiet. It was like, it was monotone. It was low. But now that I'm able to say it to you, there has to be an opportunity. One, you got to let the people love you. I had to learn that. I got to learn to let the people love me. I'm still learning that. But you got to let them love you. They got to let them, give them a chance and let them, give them a shot to be able to show their whatever style of work that they're doing, whether it's singing, dancing, jumping jacks, whatever they're doing that wants to express it, allow them to do that, because you never know what that person could be, what that youth could be, what that elder could be, what they could be in a matter of years. And then they will say, when they're standing on that beautiful pedestal, oh my gosh, thank you to JJC for giving me this opportunity, doing this, to doing that. Y'all don't believe, this is my first artist talk. This is what I'm really talking about. This is the opportunity
Really?
that you get.
Wow.
First one, I ain't gonna, no cap. First one. And the reason why I say this is me taking the steps to something that I've met some incredible artists. I've met some mean old artists. I've met some old and I met them all. Big, tall, small, I met them all. But the one thing that they all have in common is they all have a vision. They all have an idea of what they want to do. But we have to not be selfish and not say, I don't have the will, have to have the will to be able to say, I want to do this. And it takes people like this space, like places like the BMA, like even Greenmount. Greenmount is that place. It's one of those places where their doors may be closed, but they will open it for you and they will welcome you in wholeheartedly. Even myself, hope you wholeheartedly to show the opportunity to show your work. That's what I'm saying. And invest in the artists, invest in these different spaces, invest your time and your efforts in these spaces, because not only are you taking a chance on something, and this is not me trying to get nobody in, I'm just saying this to be real. If you take the time to do this, you never know who can it impact. It can give us an enrichment and engagement opportunity to impact somebody who's small, somebody who's tall, to give the artist a chance to be able to say, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. I've had a moment where I haven't got to see my mother. It was like, I think it was like a whole year, me being in graduate school, it was like a year. And I didn't see my mother for like maybe a long time, about a year. And I got an opportunity from the Atlanta Falcons to be able to come out to the Cayman Islands, to be able to paint these same paintings that I painted in the street, to create these same paintings that I painted in the back of the alleys, in the back of these places, to create these same paintings, all because there was an artist that tagged me in a post. Imagine getting paid because somebody tagged you in a post. I got to spend quality time with my mother because somebody tagged me in a post. Imagine how small that is. That's just a seed. That's just something that planted on the ground. And I got the chance to take my mother. To the Cayman Islands. They did that for the Falcons. They took care of everything. And I got to paint in front of all these executives and all these people. And that part didn't matter. It was just a chance of me seeing my mom happy. To have the chance to say that I did it. I created a style of art. I created something that was just this small, but grew so much to the point where I can stand in front of people and say, man, I did that. He did that.
That's wonderful. There are so many more comments. I just want to read a few. Jacqueline says, love your wisdom, bro. Keep inspiring. Have you found yourself victimized or supported by the elite art groups? And it says, that's a question, I guess. Have you found yourself victimized or supported by the elite art groups? I'm not sure which elite art groups those are, but that was a question. Then it says, fire blows breath into it and gives it life. Yeah. It says, have you found that there are efforts to silence you more than listen to you in the mainstream because of the history of silencing certain perspectives? And are there countries you admire and want to visit? So you see, there's a series of questions. We're really trying to get into your head here. And it says, love the influence of women in your work and the influence of Black history in your work. Is there a book in your future? So I don't know which one of these you want to take on, because I know it's 7:38. It's 7:38, and I know that people are on, and you've been so engaging. I don't want to cut the talk at all. I really don't. And I think we can answer some of these questions, but I just want you to know where people are going. And I'm just so excited that we're giving you your first talk is with us. So it's going down in your history here and ours. So I can appreciate that.
I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful.
So I don't know. And Dave, you can check me on time if we're okay, because there's some questions I would like for you to give life to or give some response. So what about the one about victimized or supported by the elite art groups? They didn't name any names, but I don't know.
Comments, it was, I think the elite art groups was white elite art groups.
Okay.
If that has been inexperienced. Yes, so I've gone into a space, like I said, I won't be giving out names, but I have gone into a space and have experienced this, because I just don't like to go back in the past, man, because it only blocks the future. And so what I want to do is just express that I have gone through that before, because when I first got my name, I had an email with a space in Charleston, and then because of, they saw my name, but my name is Christopher, given to me by my family. And then once I went into the space, because they saw that I was a Black person, they saw that I was wearing a hoodie and everything. They decided to take the exhibition space from me. They didn't want to let me share my work. But I did know that I wasn't completely ready at that point in time. And so I just wanted to be honest about that. And I saw that I did put in the application for another space in Charleston. I'm not bad, I love Charleston, but I'm saying this, that I did put an application in space, and we all have gotten this quote unquote, unfortunately, I've gotten 1,000 of those, but it only made me stronger. And I'm so glad that they did turn me down. I'm glad they refused me, because I wouldn't be sitting right here right now.
That's right, you wouldn't be here with us, so we are taking that one. So here's another one. Have you found that there are efforts to silence you more than listen to you in the mainstream because of the history of silencing certain perspectives?
So yes, so for all my brothers out there, Black men are not meant to be silent. Speak up, say something. It's okay to talk your noise, but it's also okay to listen sometimes, because you may be talking too much. So it's okay to listen to. But yes, there are a lot of those opportunities to be silenced, especially in that stream of art. When you're creating a piece of work, and it doesn't have to just be art. It could be multiple different things, whether you are in the realm of whatever you're doing or your profession. Those opportunities, those happen a lot. And the reason why it happens is because it's between how your relationship moves when they see a relationship with a Black man and Black woman, they always automatically think it's intimate, which is really not true. There's a position where you can have a respectful relationship with a Black man or Black woman, where it be so respectable and so humble and so loving, that it gives you opportunity to not only laugh, but also embody their spirit and create value and opportunity for that. And so when a man is silenced and when a Black man is silenced, it's like having chains on our wrists and on our legs again, and having the muscle on our mouth. And I will not have that. And I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to do that. Like I said, I'm not done with even sacrificing. I've sacrificed more than I know of, but I do not commend those things. Only because I knew that it takes the time to be able to channel at least one spirit. And I know that there's a lot of things that I still have yet to learn, and I still have to learn as oneself. And so answering that silent question, I hope that I answered it the best way I could.
All right, very good. So what about this one? Are there countries you admire and want to visit?
Yeah, man. I think there's a very I want to go. I will go to a lot of different places. You know what I'm saying? If it be in Nigeria, if it does be places in spots in Africa, we want to visit there and express my work there, but also in the East, in Asia, and also in the Southwest, and in Brazil, different places where I can express this work. And the reason why I say that is because I I do think that this is a type of art, a type of work, and I'm gonna just say this honestly, that speaks in tongues, that can talk to anybody, and that can have a conversation with anybody. I can bring my southernness all the way down to wherever. I brought it here, you know what I mean? So I can bring it anywhere and talk about it and be about it. You know what I mean? I can go to Asia, I can go to Nigeria, and I can be there. And still, as long as you, and one thing I do want to say, as long as you respect my work, I'll go wherever you at. We can have a good time, but I'll go wherever I want and have a good time with it. So there's no limit.
Okay, very good. I'm just going to make one little plug on that. If you do want to go someplace, there is a travel prize for artists that is through through another location. If you want to go someplace, just going to say that it is called a travel art prize. I just want to share that. I think the proposals go out in July.
You give my email, Dave. Give me the email. Email her, do the thing. You know how to do it. You know how to do that thing.
Yeah, I would just encourage you to apply, as well as any other artists listening to the sound of my voice. Go out on the Baltimore Office Promotions website and look for the travel prize, and it is there for you.
I'm gonna cap off you real quick. So there's a lot of things I don't know. So if you're out there listening, if you're in the city, I don't know those things. I've told artists, I said, "What you talking about?" I just found out about different things, like award things y'all be applying for, and different, fellas. If y'all know about it, talk to your boy.
You've come to the right place. You've connected with the right group. We're here for you. We're here for you. So this is one that I think is very, very special that I need to share with you. Lanisha says, "You make my heart smile, and it's a joy being your mom."
That's my mama. Hey, I told you, my mama's sweet. My mama taught me how to be sweet, mean, nice, all the things. I ain't your regular one now. I'm gonna tell you, I can be sweet to you, but I can be real with you. You may think it's mean, but I'm gonna put it down to you on the table. I ain't gonna be around the bush with you. I'm gonna tell you that's wrong. I'm gonna call you out. So that's all. But I love you, mama. Thank you.
Gail says, "Art brings beauty to the hood. Your passion and purpose are evidence," says Rodelia. Ernest Shaw is watching.
That's Bobby Shaw. There. What's up, Ernest?
Yeah. So I just want to say, and I know we went over, and I apologize to all of you who are listening, that we've gone beyond our time, but I do have to say it has been a joy to listen to someone who confesses and professes to be shy, to actually speak so boldly and so loudly with such conviction about things that are most important, the driver for you to do the work based on what you absolutely love to do. And you do it because you love to do it. This is what art is all about, is pulling people in, wrapping themselves around, and then saying, "I experienced something great because of what you put in it." So I'm going to use the word ministry as very loosely as I can, but I will say to you, Mr. Christopher Kolpeace, that this art thing for you is a ministry, that you have blessed so many people in what you do and have been doing through not just the work you produce, but the conversations you've opened and honestly shared with us today. And so I thank you for that. I'm going to take full credit for Joshua Johnson Council being your first artist talk, but I'm going to tell you right now, after this experience, I am certain it will not be your last.
Thank you
so anything we can impart and share with you to improve your practice, we will certainly support that. And we love Keisha over there at Greenmount West too.
Yeah, man,
so I just want to say that partnership is solid and very, very strong. So this is one small step to a large future for you in doing the thing you do best, is share your heart with the world.
Thank you so
much. I thank you for that. So Dave, you want to close us out?
Chris, thank you so much. Always a blessing. Always. Folks, thank you for chiming in tonight for JJC Talks. as you got to just witness, every month we are highlighting incredible artists working here in Baltimore through the Joshua Johnson Council. You can figure out more about us through artbma.org. You can email me. You can join us, bring your talents to our council as we are nearing the end of our 35th year of existence. And next month, I want to plug that we'll be hearing from the amazing photographer, Sean Champion. That's going to be Thursday, March 11th at 6:30 p.m. Chris, thank you, my friend.
Hey man, thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm so glad y'all had me, man. Y'all follow me on the media pages if y'all can. Kolpeace, KOLPACE. Love on somebody.
Like,
You know I do.
I'm gonna follow you back right now. Hey, listen, thank y'all, man.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Good night, everybody.
good night.
Enjoy your evening.
Good night, all.
Good night.